everybody, it's Lisa. Thank you for joining me. Look, you've got a different view today. This is my craft room, and I have a bit of a different project that we're going to work on today. Here's where I do my real work, 9 to 5 job. But then I've been working on reorganizing my entire craft room, and this, I'm going to try to move slow so I don't close your eyes if this bothers you. But this big bin down here, I'm going to have a sale. Never mind the dog toy. I'm going to have a sale, and watch for that upcoming. It's going to be a linen and cutter quilt sale, so watch for that. But I've been sorting all my doilies. I have these bins full of doilies and lace. And then I've got these 2 boxes full. There's where I have most of my books. There's more back there. Oops, I'm going to try to move slow. Here's where I sit and film and do all my crafting, my paper, all my other stuffs, all my antique ledgers and Harper magazines, some extra buttons, all my favorite goodies. But the problem that I was having is I had so much lace and everything tucked away that I just didn't even know what I had anymore. And I have shocked myself. I need not be buying lace anytime soon. So I'll show you that. I also discovered, whoops, that I have way more applique than I thought I did. And this whole box is full of applique pieces. So that is a joy. I have that ribbon. I have a whole nother box of ribbon. But what we're going to be working on today is how to store your laces in making these spools and making, hold on, let's see if I can grab one. These homemade, where am I, spools that I like to fit in this rack that I got from Hobby Lobby. Actually, it's a Hobby Lobby product that I ordered on Amazon. I've got this big box back here full of all kinds of beautiful laces. So we've got some work cut out for us. I found way more itty bitty doilies than I realized that I had. This whole basket is full. Whoops, there I go again. This whole bin is full of itty bitty laces, lace pieces there, and up there is some more lace. So I'm going to pause the video and put it back on the rack, and we are going to make, oh, here's some more itty bitty lace cut piece that I've put in there. So I've got it right by me, and I ordered some beautiful pearl end bins that I will link below, so that if you're going to do an organization project, you can do the same. But I'm going to pause the video, put you back on the rack so that we're looking at our usual spot. Okay, hopefully this works well. What we're going to be making first are the spools. And I just, keep old boxes and little pieces of cardboard packaging. I made myself a template, and let's see if I can measure this for you. This template measures across the bottom about 3 3/4 wide across these ends, and then about 2 3/4 across in the middle. It is just a little over 5 3/4 long. So I've used this multiple times. I just hang on to the same one. It's getting a little floppy. I might have to make a new one. But I've already gone ahead and traced out and cut out my pieces for those. And for the spools, when you purchase them on Amazon, and I'll link these as well, they come with the tubes. Let me get these out of the packaging for you. The ends, and then these pieces. So I'll show you what I do for that as well. But what I did first is I just took white acrylic paint and very dry brushed it on there so it looked a little old, and then I took my vintage photo and inked it up a little bit. All right, so let's do the rest of it. Now, I think what I'll do here, I buried it. I've got some old music paper that I'm going to use. And what I have found for these, I did use Eileen's tacky glue for some of them, but I've actually found that this works better. The tacky glue, the tacky glue, it's so thick that it leaves bumps in the paper. I don't know. If you use tacky glue, I would almost, because I think it's pretty affordable, but I would maybe even water it down a little bit and put it in those little bottles that you can get off Amazon. That might be more manageable. I also find it kind of hard to squeeze I kind of jiggle this on there to make sure it's stuck down good. But I find the tacky glue hard to squeeze out of the bottle sometimes as well. All right. How did I end up with an extra one? They must send an extra one of these. I thought, my gosh. I didn't screw up something, did I? And the nice thing about using this Fabri-Tac or the 3-in-1 is that you really don't have to wait to go to your next step. Wonder if this will fit. By Jove, it will. I hope you're having a good day. The day that I'm filming this, the weather is beautiful. After it was so hot, now I get to open the windows up, shut the AC off. Oh, just feels fantastic. But I was at a point where I needed to reorganize my craft room and kind of reevaluate my craft life, I guess, and just get things cleaned up. I couldn't stand it anymore. Could not stand it. And once I started doing these, it was like, I will definitely save these little bits for my scrap bin. Okay, and then I just cut around them. Some days I have a really easy time of this, sometimes not. Today is apparently a not. There we go. Now, if you do a good job cutting, you really don't need to sand down the edges. But if you don't, you can use an emery board and just go around the edges and sand them. But I actually just use my fingernail. Those of you with nice nails, you're going to want to try something else. But I just use my fingernail to pop that out, and it works out super easy. Because this paper is thin enough. Now, I will tell you, I had one kind of scrap paper that I had used that was a little thicker, and I had to use my knife. And then you can just, as long as your blade is sharp, which mine is, I think, dulling up a little bit, you can come in and just go quickly around. But I should really replace this blade. I've had this one on here quite a while. Okay, we'll quick do these other two. And I do save the circles. I got another idea for using them in collage. You can paint them. You can paint and then maybe stamp on them. Use your distress inks, glue paper on them like we are with this. I have my Teflon mat out because when I was painting the spools, it just was easiest for me to clean up. Here's that. But it's been almost like Christmas pulling some of these things out from the bins that I had them stored in, because it was just getting to the point, it was just so hard to fish around in there and see what I had. So I think I'm gonna really like having these things right near me. Now I just take the other side and glue the other side down as well. You want to make sure you get around all the edges so that's adhered well and your ends of your paper aren't lifting. I haven't checked the weather forecast for tomorrow. Tomorrow is Sunday, and I'm hoping that maybe if the weather is nice tomorrow, we can either go boating, or there's like a nature preserve area that I want to go hiking at. Maybe we'll do that, or maybe both. Do a little fishing maybe. It's starting to feel in the evening like fall is in the air, so I think our days of summer are coming to an end. The kids are all back in school now, and I don't know, it's kind of like a happy thing when the kids are back in school, and but at the same time it's kind of sad too, isn't it? Especially for those of us, I think, in states where we have such a difference in seasons. I mean, when I was younger, I got a big kick out of the fall or winter, and not anymore. I can't see myself going ice skating anymore. I think that would be a broken hip waiting to happen. I used to love ice skating though. I do the same thing here. Yeah, I need a new blade. I do. I feel like the blade is laughing at me. Like, really? Here's how I did it the last time. I just scored it and then started coming around. But when your blade isn't that sharp, it's not, it just wants to tear at the paper. Stuck to my finger. And my husband was so nice. The other night he hung up these 2 new shelves for me that I've got the spools on, and there's one up above the window now where I just put the journals that I've already filled. One more of these, and then I'll show you how to put them together. Not that it's hard, it's super easy. I found, or I got the idea for these spools from a video that G. Kerr did. She also is organizing her laces. But I'm so glad I did this. I was thinking, oh my gosh, I hardly have any laces. Oh, no. I found lace I did not know I had. Okay, I'm gonna set this to the side so I remember to replace the blade. Now, the next step that I take with these is I just come in with my ink because I want to make it look a little aged. I like doing this. You can only see it on the bottom because the cap covers it, which you'll see in a second here. when you put that in. And the other thing I like to do too is make sure that I've got the edges of the spool all really good and inked. All right, and the way you put these together is super simple. My spongy thing on my inker is coming undone. Okay, so I just pop that in there, and then you pop it on here. And what I do is I just kind of swirl it around to get it on there. Do the same with the other end. Pop it on, get it started, swirl it around, and we've got a spool. It's that easy. And these I thought were very affordable on Amazon. Now let's put some lace on. Is this, oh, that one's gonna be, or is it gonna fit? Little tight. Let's put this one on. Get that out. This beautiful blue lace, which I have zero recollection of where I got it because I have an issue. I have a hoarding issue with doilies. I have a huge issue with doilies. It's like I feel like I've got to save all the doilies. Doilies and lace. I just love it. So if anybody sees me on any sites where we tend to hang out buying lace and doilies, tell me I'm not allowed. Because I'm not. Oh my gosh. Some of my favorite places to buy lace and applique are Crafty Me Shop, and Donna Little on Saturdays on her website has sales, and she sells linens, lace, tablecloths, doilies, and really good prices. I really like buying from Donna. And then here's the pins. This is the shorter pin. There's also, what is this one? Probably about 1.5 inches, and this one's probably 2 inches. And I just pop them in. Come on. These do not have very sharp ends though. There we go. And I like to make sure that I leave the sharp end in it because I know myself and I will totally poke myself. So there's that process for the spool. Now, let me get this out of the way. Now for these, what I do, cleaning up my mess still. Getting fabric scraps out. I get out my scrapbook paper and just take one that floats my boat. Maybe I'll take this one. I use a lot of teal in my craft room. And then I take these, and you can use the Aleenes. In fact, maybe I'll show you one with Aleenes and how I do that. Flip over my paper. don't know if it's because I'm a weakling or what, but I always have a hard time squeezing out the aliens. Maybe I have weak hands. I want to get it around the edges good. And let me check this pattern. Put this up to the edge so I have as little cutting as possible. And then I like to take my card and just squish all that glue to the edges. Make sure it's good and glued down. We'll do that with all of our pieces here. Come on. I shouldn't have set it right side up again. My husband's out walking his dogs, enjoying the beautiful weather. He was outside all day long. I think he would live outside sometimes. I think that comes from having grown up on a farm for him. That he just loves being outside. I think I can, yeah, we can put 3 across. And can we get 3 down? Yep. So 3 to a 12 by 12 sheet with the sizes of spool that I have. Now, if you don't have the same Hobby Lobby holder that I do, and if you do these kinds of flat spools, then, figure out, just measure out what size will work out best for whatever kind of shelving system you're gonna use. Or maybe you're gonna put them in like a bucket and be able to flip through them. That'd be kind of a good idea too. Whoops, I pushed it right off the paper. Here I was saying I didn't have any strength. I had more strength than I realized maybe. Okay, now let's get another sheet of paper while this is drying. We'll use this. Isn't that pretty? This would be a good way too to use up maybe colors of scrapbook paper that you don't use in your journals very often, but you still think are pretty or interesting. Or book pages would be another good way to use up book pages. Now this next one let's do with the Fabri-Tac. I have this on the edge. I better put the cap on my aliens here before I get that dried up. Come on. But these really don't take long. I felt like I was making them forever when I did all the other ones that are already in the rack. Ugh. Thought I was going to be making spools forever. Where did I put my card? Oh, it's sitting right there. Well, really. There we go. There. So you get the idea of that. Now let's cut these out and glue them to the other side. Cut it out around your shape. And you want to make sure that you get a good cut the first time around, because you'll need the good cut for when you cut around your other side. If you had messy edges, it would be really hard to get a nice clean shape. And I feel like with the Fabri-Tac that I don't need as much glue. I don't know if it's just because it dries faster that I feel that way. I don't know. It could just be in my head. Now see, there's some bubbles on this side because of the thickness of the Aleene's glue. So again, I recommend using the Fabri-Tac. I don't know. You do you, but it just is not my favorite. With the Fabri-Tac, I don't have any bumps. But there's going to be lace around it, so it's not the end of the world. I've used cereal boxes for the cardboard. Now, the other thing that I've done with these that I'm not going to do today is if you think you're going to see it, which for the ones that I did, I don't really see it, but I used bronzing, what is it called? It's a little birdie metallic wax. It's antique gold. I thought it would look really cool on the edges, but you don't really see it that much, so I don't know if it's worth the effort. You see a little bit of it on this side, but I mean, I think I was getting a little carried away with the whole process then. Set that aside for a minute. There, let's get rid of these scraps, but isn't that cute? Here, I'm gonna turn that up a little. Perfect. All right, let's find a lace for this. Those are all too wide. Let's put this on. I just hold it down, bend it up so that the lace goes over itself, like this, and wind it around. That way when it's sitting in the rack, it's easy to find the color that you're looking for. And if you want ruffled, I have my ruffled ones in one area, my flat laces in another shelf or area of that shelf. So it just helps me see what I have and use what I have. So that's how that works. It's so super simple. 2 different ways of storing your laces, really pretty either way and really fun either way. Thanks so much for joining me. Comment below if you're going to give this a try, or if you have other ways that you store your laces, share that also. I've used these wooden pieces that you can get at a craft store. You might even be able to get something like this at a store like the Dollar Tree. Another thing that you can use is this lace is a longer or wider lace that I put on a wooden ruler. So that's another idea. Have fun with it. Store your laces so you can use them. Have a great day.